This can be a lot. You up for it?
Hey, Rockstar, gather your staff, please.
Anything you want to tell me first?
No. Oh, this can't be good.
Welcome back, everybody. It's Lamont. This is going to be my Pitt Season 2, Episode 7, 1 p.m. to 2 p.m., hour number 7. And this show never disappoints, ladies and gentlemen. And we start this thing off right in the midst of them saying goodbye to Lou. I still can't believe the writers did us like that, but it made for compelling TV. And I'm going to see if I can get my hands on the actor who played Lou to give a little interview about what it was like to film on set with this great cast. They start us out with Mrs. Miller, sexual assault patient. Mind you, I'm uniquely qualified to do a medical review show because I have worked extensively in the hospital, in the ER, and with kids as a respiratory therapist. I've pretty much seen everything you see these people go through, and this show has done by far the most realistic job of keeping it right by what happens in the hospital. No different with Miss Miller, the sexual assault patient. You have to have a nurse. You've got to have a doctor. You do have to have like trauma psych unit come in and talk to the patient. And from the very beginning, you knew something was off with her, but you could easily mistake that for she's just unsettled because of what happened. And I've been in these situations and have seen this, and I knew that her unsettledness wasn't as much about what happened as her thinking about the ultimate outcome. And as they went through the case, you saw them go through the semen selection light. You saw them doing the swabs in the mouth, under the fingernails. And the thing that kept making me say to myself, a friend probably done this to her, was because she really wanted to be up out of there. She was one of these people that wanted to go halfway in without doing the whole thing. And I think that what this show does very well is bring up relevant things we should be talking about that happens in our society in a TV show. And ladies and gentlemen, one thing that does happen often is that people are involved with a friend. A friend might not want to be in the friend zone, and the other friend wants to keep the person in the friend zone, and on one drunken night, things happen. And at the end of the day, if someone says no, that's what no means. No means no. But the question we have here is, was this rape? Was this rape? Based on the way she's acting, and it's hard to tell because when something like this happens, it most certainly can be rape. And even if she didn't say no to it, if she kind of pushed away, that's still an intimation of no. You just wonder what were the stories behind this? Did she try to kiss him a little bit? Did she engage in a little foreplay and didn't want it to go any further? These are all relevant things you have to think about. And this is even given the plight that women have had to deal with from the beginning of time by being raped, by being harassed, by being catcalled. And it's always frustrating that women aren't taken seriously when they make these accusations. And men and police departments are always quick to say, if you don't do X, Y, and Z steps, then you wanted it to happen. And I'm not saying that here because I do understand the trauma that women go through and the embarrassment that women suffer when you're doing these tests. And I'm here to tell you, if you think it's embarrassing for women, try being a man that has gotten abused in the butthole by another man. That's even more embarrassing. But even sticking with this case, I do wonder how far did she allow things to go, if she even allowed things to go there, because that is always a sticky situation when you're dealing with friends or friends who don't want to be in the friend zone, or when you stick a friend in the friend zone. And then she gave the excuse that he was drunk. And that's what's starting to make me question. Now, look, if he raped you and he's your friend, she's in a quagmire, ladies and gentlemen. It was so bad with her that when she got ready to do the pap smear, she damn near jumped off the bed like she seen a ghost in Ghostbusters. These are the hard decisions people have to deal with when they've been in this situation. And the fact that she really doesn't want to press him makes me wonder, how far did she allow things to go if she allowed anything to happen? I'm really hoping that they follow up on this story. We need to know this whole story, because if he just jumped on her, she didn't want it. She needs to go through with this, because friend or not, that's not right. But if she kissed a little bit, gave him an inclination that she wanted something, and never said no, never stopped, that's a whole different story. But at the same time, it's hard to judge because she's going through trauma of what happened. So you don't know. We need more evidence. We need to see. And so post your comments and let me know if you've all, I hope you haven't, have dealt with someone that's been in this situation. I know I have, and it's chaotic, and I don't wish this on anyone. We see Dr. Ellis, I think for the first time this season, sleeping in Bay 2, just chilling, where they was getting ready to put Mrs. Miller. And then we get to our nonverbal patient, Miss Harlow. And I love Miss Harlow. She's got personality. And if there's going to be another patient that they could do something real dramatic to that will make us upset, it would probably be Mrs. Harlow. And now she's working with Dr. Stank-Ass Attitude Santos, who I'm going to admit to y'all, by the end of this episode, Santos is back on my good side, and we'll get there in a minute. But her translation machine is breaking up, and if you guys didn't catch a theme in this episode, that breakup of the translation machine is directly tied to the cyber attack. And we'll get to that in a minute, but every time that machine was breaking up, that was probably some hackers trying to get in, and you guys kind of seen what happened at the end, and we'll explain that ending in a minute. But she is not really thrilled with Dr. Santos because she can tell Dr. Santos don't want to be in there. Dr. Santos wrote her a note saying we're going to get a CT scan, and damn if she didn't sign language her the FR signal. And eventually they had a sign language guy come down there, and she was just basically like, I don't like this Santos. Get her ass up out of here. But folks, there's a connection. I know y'all been trying to tell me that Harlow doesn't have anything to do with this baby, but there is a Santos connection, and we'll get to that in a minute. Jackson's parents come up and are acting like they're, can't believe he has psychosis, when in the end we find out that the dad's brother killed himself, and they never told either one of the kids. And that fine ass Jada is frustrated. Yes, I don't just have eyes for sexy Samara. Jada is beautiful as they come too. And thick with it, cornbread thick. But she is obviously frustrated because parents held this secret. And every parent out there, we know that we're not perfect. We aren't. And there always comes a time when something that you think you're not ready to tell your kids, maybe you forget, maybe you just hope that it never comes up. Folks, it always is going to come up. So as you understand your kids' cognitive levels, you need to start breaking down the truth as early as possible so that it doesn't hurt as bad when they hear it. And they didn't tell either kid about the uncle. And now Jada is looking around like, am I going to have some psychosis? And I love how Dr. Javadi came to comfort her and let her know, you need to be in there. You need to hear what's going on. Don't worry about it. And obviously you've got Jada, the daughter, Dr. Javadi, the daughter, and both have had some issues with their parents. And so post your comments if you guys have had to deal with that as well, because I believe truly everybody needs a counselor. Everybody goes through mental health issues. Sometimes we don't want to admit it. We've got Roxy, the cancer patient. Now, folks, what's going on with Roxy? She's probably number 2 of the one that's pulling our heartstrings, but she doesn't want to go home. Dad comes back with the kids. They're in there talking about mortality, and one of the kids is frustrated. And now Dad is frustrated. He wants to bring her home. At the end of the day, I'm with Robbie. You need to do whatever your wife needs to be comforted. If she don't want to go home, don't take her home. But I would like to know why she doesn't want to go home. She gave some excuses about him seeing ghosts and all that, and I think it's deeper than that. I think there's some reason she doesn't want to go home. I can't quite place my finger on it. I want you all to help me understand, why do you think she doesn't want to go home? You think she doesn't want her last memory to die in the home? I don't know. You know, that one's got me puzzled. And usually I can put these puzzle pieces together, but I can't put together Roxy's puzzle. So you guys help me out on that. Dr. Sexy Samara catches Mr. Diaz trying to sneak on up out of the hospital in the OR. And she lets him know that they're going to help him. And she even went to go get him a care bag so that he could reduce his bill. And guess what? Dr. Ortiz snuck his little chubby ass up out of there. Now, how does he escape out of a hospital like that in a gown? He's a little chubby. So it's not like you're just going to be running out of there like a running back from the Miami Dolphins. Somehow or another, he scooted out of there. And we'll get to Dr. Rambo in a minute. But it hurt my feelings to see him go because, folks, too many people are dealing with this issue of healthcare bankrupting the family. He already has a $100K bill. And this is a microcosm of what's going on in America. Thank you, writers and showrunners and everybody that helped put this show together for showing America what we're dealing with. Every other developed country, and America is supposed to be the richest country in the world, provides their citizens with health care. Not only health care, but child care, because they believe a healthy citizenry pays back the country more and longer than people sick, going bankrupt, and not having child care. Makes sense to me, but for whatever the reason, it don't make sense here because we've allowed rich-ass oligarchs to drive the narrative with our politicians. But this show is showing you how people fall between the cracks. This is not a man who needs to pull himself up by the bootstraps. This is a man who needs to untie his damn shoes and kick his feet up for a little while. He's working 10, 1,100 jobs. He's actually got to go to work on this day. So post your comments, folks. I mean, I know plenty of people in this situation. Hell, I'm about to be in the situation because I'm going through a separation in my marriage. I'm having to rebuild, and I'm probably not going to have health insurance, which reminds me, if you're someone who is going through a rebuild or you've ever thought about getting into stock trading, I have my own system I've done, and for the last year, I've been profitable in stocks with my own system I came up with. And if you want to talk with me about that system, there's a link in the video description so you can catch up with me and I can explain to you the ins and outs of stock and how you can use a prop firm to not have to use your money to get involved with stocks. And then we get Gunshot victim. And that's when we first see Dr. Rambo come in. And the gunshot victim is all messed up. But as a respiratory therapist, this was my favorite patient of the day because he had airway trauma. Oftentimes, when you first do an intubation as a respiratory therapist, you don't get in the airway, you get in the gut. And then you inflate that cuff, and air is not going in the gut, it's making the stomach bigger. Well, he had a little bit of that going on, but he had more trauma with the airway. And during this work session where they're trying to put together how to fix this man, did y'all notice how Dr. Rambo and Dr. Al caught eyes? And later on, they was talking about their stints in the Middle East. And Dr. Rambo asked her to meet for coffee. So fellas, I know that there's this ongoing narrative about an epidemic of men not being able to date women. But I promise you, fellas, if you step to a woman correct and don't try to, this is a new day and age. Back in my day, you would ask a woman for a phone number. Not today. You can ask a woman for her social media, you can ask her for her email, or you can ask her for something that's not electronic, a coffee date, a smoothie date if she's into working out. And if she says no, it's not like it's the end of the world. You just keep on talking to people. And damn if Dr. Rambo might be done got himself 2 dates in one episode, but we'll get there in a minute. We have Elliot, the football player, dehydrated. And folks, this happens often more than you would think with high school players. I know 4 kids who have died of heat exhaustion and 2 NFL players who died of heat exhaustion. The NFL guy was taking ephedra, which is something you definitely don't want to do in 90-degree weather with all the equipment on. And the other kids lost because their high school couldn't afford to bring water to the program, which enacted a law in that particular state that you've got to have readily available water and electrolytes for the school kids, which you would think would be automatic, but for some reason in red states, stuff like this just gets overlooked because it's overregulation. But they was able to get him in a cooling unit, and guess who was able to do it? Dr. Langdon as expressed by Dr. Mayo. Then we get to meet Dr. Javadi's dad. And obviously she has a better relationship with her dad than her mom, kind of like me and my daughter, who oftentimes talks about she loves me more than her mom, and I always have to tell her we are both parents. You need to share equal love, and the way we treat you is from different perspectives, but we both love you deeply, and you need to love us both deeply too, no matter which one you're mad at. Well, he brings Dr. Junebug down there to meet and say, hey, if anytime you want to talk to me, come talk to me, because Dad is trying to give Javati extra options of places she can go and not be in the OR. I commend him for that. And sometimes dads have special relationships with daughters. Sons have these special relationships with mom. As long as you can raise that child and their needs are taken care of and you can work to build something lasting with them, I'm all for it. And Dad is obviously trying to look out. But he said he ain't giving up his alcohol, y'all. He's a doctor during the week, an alcoholic by the weekend. All good as long as he can do his job. Finally, Langdon and Robbie was forced to talk to each other. They first got stuck in the elevator, then they get stuck at the helipad. Langdon fully apologized. Robbie didn't per se accept the apology, and Langdon wants to start working again, and Robbie said he's still not sure if he trusts him in his ER. I understand both perspectives. I understand you can make a grave mistake and can come back from it and be better. And I can also understand somebody's trust is fractured. And believe it or not, people, the closer you are to someone that hurts you, the more that pain seems magnified. And that's what's going on with these two. They had a deep affection for each other, and Langdon really crossed Robbie, but hopefully they'll get it over. And I'm telling you, people can change. People can do better. People learn from their mistakes. Take me, I'm one person who has done that. Dr. Mayo has her court case coming, and I love how Robbie just got her prepped to let her know she's one of the best doctors he's ever worked with, and she needs that right now because you can tell that's weighing heavy on her. And I can't say enough about Nurse Dana and the actress playing Nurse Dana, who is absolutely acting her ass off. During the examination of our rape victim, it got so deep, it got so thick, she was about to hold that girl's hand as if she was her daughter. And could you see the emotions on Dana's face? Not to mention she's killing that accent like she's from the area. Shout out to the actress playing Dana. You are killing it. You are doing just as good as anybody else on any network show. You are knocking this out the park. Then we get Mr. Scott, who's another person coming in with heat exhaustion. And did you guys notice how the AC up front is out? So it is hot as hell in Pittsburgh right now. And that was a theme in this episode, heat exhaustion patients. And they did a rectal check on him and they sent him away and they're going to get him cooled off. And then we get Dr. Sexy Samara, who's helping Rambo fix his gunshot wound, Dr. Rambo, and he couldn't reach it. She explains to him what happened with Mr. Diaz. He decides he's going to pay for it. And of course, she has questions about, is it safe for you to be a doctor by day, Rambo cop by night? He's cool with it because he said this is therapy for him. Well, my question is this: if therapy for you is having to go out, get shot at, hold guns, I think you might need something stronger in therapy than that. But you got to remember, this man is a veteran. And when you go see the kind of stuff that these people see in the armed forces, one of my hirees for my respiratory company was ex-military. And the stuff this girl told me that you have to deal with, this is why a lot of people come back home and have drinking problems, need deep therapy. And we can't even afford to pay for their health care because we're too greedy and top heavy. Any event, he decides he's going to pay for the goodie bag Sexy Samara got for Ortiz. And I was happy to see that because we need more of that. It's just that this should be, we're all going to share this burden and we should be having our government do it. And then we get the helicopter fisher who done got chopped and screwed like he was in a T-Pain video on the side of his body. And then Dr. Garcia came down and she she's a wise ass, and I do love her. I think we need more Dr. Garcia. We don't get enough scenes with her in them. Can we get more Dr. Garcia? But she checks on the patient, basically tells Langdon she wishes his ass would have stayed going a little longer. And I want to get more out of her because I like her attitude, and I still do think that her and Dr. Santos got something going on. And speaking of Santos, this was a moment I actually cared about Santos. And so now my new nickname for her is Sangin Santos, because that baby was crying. She wanted somebody to go attend to the baby. Somebody was in there. He had to bounce, which left her in there with the crying baby. She couldn't do her notes, and she had to force attention on this baby. And ladies and gentlemen, Dr. Sangin Santos revealed that she's got some damn golden pipes in that throat. Shout out to the actress playing Santos, because what people tend to forget about people who are acting, they usually are multifaceted, multi-talented. They don't just act. They can sing. They can do opera. They can dance. They can play instruments. They are the arts. An actor usually is a walking billboard of many art forms. And obviously, Santos, if she wants to go start a girl group, if she wants to go start the next K-pop Demon Hunter song, hey, she's got strong enough pipes to do it. Shout out to you, my sister. I hope I catch up with you soon. And last but not least, End and Explain. Oh, by the way, did y'all get the connection between Santos and the baby and Santos and Harlow? Y'all keep telling me that that baby can't be Harlow, but I'm telling you, that's baby Harlow, and Santos just sang that baby to sleep. Last but not least, we get Trent Norris, the CEO of the hospital. Looked like his ass just came from the golf course. And CEOs that are golfing, they hate when they got to come to work. Most of the time, they never even come to the facility where they're supposed to be doing their business because they're too busy taking fucking meetings all over the place. But he had to come to work, and it's because Westbridge and the other hospitals have been shut down by cyber issues and cyber ransom, and they want money. So he tells the people that they need to go to analog in this facility so that they're not going to be held ransom. Well, guess what? He didn't confer with Dr. Robbie. He went to Dr. Al, and I know Dr. Robbie is thinking, you be. Not only that, but what Dr. Sexy Samara did for Dr. Rambo, supposed to be a secret. Did you notice how Robbie stuck his head in there and saw it and kept on moving? So he sings that. And they end this show with the possibility of the Pitt being hit by ransomware. And if you watch the season trailer, you already know what's going to happen, but I'm not going to say it. We'll just have to watch it together on the next episode. Folks, this is a fantastic show. Well written, well done, well acted. Every single member of this cast is beautiful and handsome and can act their ass off, top to bottom. And I love the way they keep evolving these stories and these patients and the dynamics of what's happening in real life with the mentionings of the way they portray it in the art. That's going to do it for this video. Don't forget to like the video, comment, subscribe. Please get yourself that life gain. If you follow me on TikTok, please come to the YouTube channel. If you follow me on the YouTube channel, please check out my TikTok, movie and TV breakdowns. And if you're someone who's rebuilding in life, or maybe you've tried stocks in the past, there is no better time than right now while we got a crooked ass Trump running the White House to get involved with stocks. I've got a little system I put together from scratch. I learned bits and pieces all over the place, but of all the assets I've accumulated, I have real estate, I've got this YouTube channel, and I have stocks. The one that I really had to do the most putting together my own system to be successful was stocks. And if you want to learn my system, what I've done, just check the link in the video description to get a one-on-one with me. And until that next Sexy as Hell video, I'm out.